back to Factory Sealed again. It is November 13th. I'm still Eric Peterson. Aaron Robinson is still with me.
I'm still here.
Kevin Byers is still here.
Yeah, and I'm the one who's giggling uncontrollably.
And Jess is finally here.
Yay!
So the woman who said, I will be 40 minutes late without quantifying if she meant from the time of the tweet or the time the show started, actually shows up a half an hour before said 40 minutes and says 2 minutes and proceeds to be 15 minutes late after that. So I don't even know. I don't know what happened.
It's that weird Canadian time.
Yeah, I'm in a different time zone.
There's just way too much crack and way too many prostitutes happening up there.
True
I watched
story.
the video of that guy, and that guy seems really likable.
Yeah.
At least he's honest.
It took him like 6 months, to be honest.
Okay, some people go decades with...
It took Bill Clinton like a year or 2 years, to be honest.
No way, that guy's totally honest about it. He's like, well, actually, no, he wasn't. Monica Lewinsky...
didn't
Don't
find
you remember the
relations.
press conference where he's like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman?
But you know, the second he walked away from that podium, he went back and high-fived his chief of staff and pulled out another cigar.
Yeah.
Cuban cigar.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I know these are illegal, but I'm Bill Clinton.
Where's that Monica?
Do you know how crazy her, like, that lipstick that she wore sold out everywhere? Like, I believe it was MAC, and I can't remember what the lipstick was actually called, but you couldn't get it at any MAC locations because everyone wanted the Monica Lewinsky lipstick.
Wasn't it, like, really cheap, shitty department store lipstick?
No, it was MAC. It was expensive.
I don't know what MAC is. I don't wear lipstick. At least I try not to.
$15-ish too.
Is $15 expensive for lipstick?
Maybe it's more like 20. I don't know.
I feel like that's still pretty reasonable.
Yeah. It's good because it lasts a while, but yeah, it's like you can get lipstick out for like $4 at like I guess Walgreens or something like that. Like Shoppers.
I think in the 8 years I've been with my wife, I've seen her put lipstick on maybe twice.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She goes all natural with her makeup.
Oh. No, I love lipstick. It's
I
so
know.
fun.
Yeah, you
Especially
like
when
the
I'm
goth.
going the goth.
Black lipstick or no lipstick? Is that the rule?
Absolutely. Yep.
So how's everyone doing? How is Aaron? We haven't heard from you in a while. It's been a couple weeks.
It has. Doing pretty good. Been doing a lot of activities on the weekends and stuff. So, and then of course there's work and stuff and all that kind of neat stuff. But yeah, not too much. Selling some things, so I'm making some money. It's good.
Do you miss the old GameStop?
What things?
I'm selling some my old action figures and books and comics and videos and stuff.
Sexual relations.
I'm selling my sexual relations, Jeff. Why? I don't know. We're just trying to clean up and get things tidy and
trying to downsize
a little bit. And
you guys having another kid?
Like, no. But we're in this getting debt free kick, and so yeah, we're working on it. So that's pretty much what I do. Work and
you sell things.
Sell things. Yeah. But it's amazing, man, what people want for this old stuff because, I keep it nice. And I don't know what I sold the other day. I sold some gaming book for I think I sold it for $50.
I'd be kind of interested to see how much I could get for some of my strategy guides.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some of the original Super Mario RPG strategy guide, Super Mario 64 stuff, just really old guides that are in great condition. So I'd be interested to see how much those go for.
Yeah, and I used to be one of those guys who bought a guide for every game that I bought, and I would never use it, so it'd still be sealed. And those things are like going for like, I don't know, pretty good money, more than I paid for them.
I've got like 9 copies of the Halo 2 guides sealed.
9 copies?
Jesus.
They were pennying them out at GameStop, so I paid 9 pennies for them.
Why would you even want those for 9 pennies?
I used to be a strategy guide hoarder, and it got to the
Not surprised.
Yeah, it got to
Not
the
even a
point
little
where
bit.
we needed to move down to Arizona, and I had hundreds of pounds of strategy guides, and I'm digging through, and it's like, I don't need burnout strategy guides and just like Madden strategy. Who needs that? So I chucked probably 200 strategy guides.
Wow.
A lot of them were multiples. I mean, I kept like the really important stuff. I've got a lot of the limited edition guides for the Kingdom Hearts series, the Final Fantasy series, and then some of the older ones that are kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
Are you just selling your stuff through Craigslist, or are you standing on a street corner spinning a sign?
Oh, spinning a sign, baby.
People do that like crazy.
I've seen people that don't even hold on to the sign. They just stand on the corner and groove.
Yeah, I think I use eBay. I sold my Legend of Zelda. What was that? What game did I buy? Skyward Sword with the gold controller. He was still sealed. I sold that to some guy in Malaysia.
Wow. How was shipping?
Yeah, no.
He paid for it. I think he paid like, I don't know, like $140 for the game, and then like another $40 for shipping. It's ridiculous.
That was the downfall that I noticed of working at GameStop so much, is that you saw all this stuff come in, like, I want that, and then next thing you know, you've wasted your
buy
paycheck.
it sits there in a shelf, and you never play it.
Like the old,
Like GTA.
yeah, like GTA, which I returned.
You returned it.
It didn't even open it. I returned it.
Aaron, did you ever buy the chainsaw controller for Resident Evil 4?
I almost did. I did not buy that one. I kind of wish I did now, because now that I'm selling stuff, it'd probably go for a lot. Because there was a knife one too they made or something. One game had a knife.
I thought it was just not for Resident Evil, just another one with a knife.
I don't know which game it was for, but it was, yeah, it had a knife. I think it was a Resident Evil game, though. It was one of those weird games. Like, horror style game.
So you're having fun selling stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going too long. But today was cool because I was down there playing some games.
Did you find your Faxanadu maps?
Not yet.
Oh.
Which I'm kind of disappointed in. I haven't found them yet. I think they're at my mom's house in a trunk. But I did play. We'll get into what I played later. But I was playing some games, and I was digging through, and I found a whole bunch of my old games that I forgot that I had that I will try to play now. It's a big backlog of games. So, which is kind of cool, and I got my controllers set up and everything now. So,
I'm kind of taking that same approach too. Is I've written out my backlog of games, and I've decided not to get my PS4. I actually transferred my pre-order over to Matt, and then when it comes in on Friday, I'm going to ship it up to him, and it's going to be a sad day, but it's kind of nice to know that I'm going to have time to just pound through my backlog of games and not purchase new stuff. Because I was looking through.
What's in your list of backlog?
There's a lot of old retro RPGs that I want to play. Like I've always.
There's an Excel spreadsheet that.
No, those are games that people have recommended for us, so that when we finally do get around to playing them, we can give them proper credit for recommending it. That's more or less what that's for. But the old RPGs that I want to finish are the Creation Trilogy, the Illusion of Gaia, Soul Blazer, and Terranigma series. I want to round out the Lufia series. I've played through Lufia 1, but never played through the second one. Robotrack, and then just pound through some old PS2 games that I never got around to finishing. Like, I need to get around to finishing Final Fantasy 12. I mean, I know that's a 50, 60-hour commitment, but I at least need to finish it, because that's one of the only ones I've never finished.
yeah, I found a copy of Chrono.
Don't say
Cross?
Cross. Oh, my God.
No, Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
That's what I found. I think
I've
it's
never
Chrono Trigger that I have that I haven't never played it. I haven't sitting there. I've never played it.
I kind of want to finish Secret of Mana too.
Yeah.
Did you guys start playing that then? I did not. I chose to play something else.
That was the shit color Star Week.
There's a lot of shit color Star Weeks. I don't know which one you're referring to. I think all of you have had a shit color star at some point.
Kevin and I started our multiplayer playthrough of that, and then we got really drunk and died and got lost interest after 5 hours.
Okay, it's not that we got drunk and died. It's that Eric decided to skip plot points that were apparently breaking in this game, that if you skipped, it would make the game really hard. And Eric's just like, no, we don't got to talk to these guys. I know what I'm doing.
I don't remember any of that.
Because you were drunk.
Did you see the sides of the bourbon glass I was drinking out of? Holy crap. It's a fishbowl. So, I broke my toe this weekend.
But
Just kidding.
oh, that's not
Your
good.
toe?
Oh,
I broke my toe this weekend.
before we get into
How?
that story,
Oh.
I have something I need to say that I missed last time and the time before.
This is conversation football. You just intercepted my conversation.
Yeah,
You are
I can
running
do-
the other direction with it.
I can do it now. Happy birthday, Jess.
Okay.
2 weeks left.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Is that it?
That's it. Happy
Do you want us to
birthday.
each
Is that it?
individually wish you a happy birthday?
No, I wasn't sure if that was the story.
No, that was it. I just wanted to wish you happy
I
birthday
didn't
before
want to
I completely
interrupt.
forgot.
I appreciate it.
No, this is sweet. I could have fumbled that. You could have picked it up and ran it back towards Eric. So you
But
got
that was
the
like
ball
such a
metaphors here.
that was an interception, and then you're running by yourself, nobody running. You just kind of dropped it on your own. And it's like nobody really knows what to do. Like, is it a dead ball? What do we do?
Look, I'm like that Dallas Cowboy lineman who picked up the ball on that fumble and then got near the end zone and just dropped it because he thought he was in.
Oh, I'm way too fat to run this far.
Or Joe Foreman in the Vikings who intercepted a ball and then ran it in the wrong direction.
Jesse, you said your birthday was 2 weeks ago,
November 5th.
and you were just at your birthday party tonight.
Oh, work birthday party. So we had a real birthday party on Saturday, and we played an intense game of Monopoly. Like, it was a little crazy.
Oh, man. That's
Did you tell that guy to
I
put a
understand
nipple
that.
on his beer?
Yeah, I did.
Holy crap! Everybody else's
And it
drink
was,
was
like,
empty, and this
fine.
guy's just brimming with beer.
Because that was his, like, third beer.
I don't care.
But we have a keg, like, we have a beer fridge, so it's like a draft tap on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome when we have people over, because people drink a lot at our house.
Sounds like a great house.
It was pretty fun. We like had a three-way conglomerate on
What?
properties.
I stopped at three-way. I'm like,
We're getting
Really?
truthful.
wow.
No, it was we all owned a third of the company, and then I owned 30% of one of Andrew's, but only for like royalty, so I didn't actually own shares. Then someone else I owned 10% of, but I had to pay like
game were you
10% of.
playing.
How did you keep track
Like
of
an
all of
actual
this?
game was just made up like your own rules or what?
No, well, okay.
Sounds a lot like made up rules.
The first time we played Monopoly, Andrew and I almost broke up. Like, it was really bad. So this time we had to have like a pretty intense set of rules and what we couldn't do. So we could allow trades, and we could allow like trades for not for money. So you could trade like immunity on landing on like free rent, that sort of stuff, and people could go in on companies together if they had planned out what they wanted to do with it. So it was a little intense.
See,
Fun.
here you guys are taking a great children's game and making the rules more difficult for a drinking game, and then I go to a party and we take a game intended for 2-year-olds and turn it into a drinking game and try to make it simpler than what it is.
Have you guys ever played or heard of Communist Monopoly?
No. Heard of that.
You split the players into two teams. Half of them are capitalists and half of them are communists. The capitalists have to buy everything they land on. Like, they're not allowed to ever stop buying things. If you have to mortgage all your properties or sell hotels, you have to do it. And then the communists elect one of their players to be like the grand overlord, and he holds on to all of the team's money and distributes it as he sees fit. So every time you land on a property, you have to explain to your communist leader, "Oh, great leader, this is why we need to get to buy Boardwalk. It will help our empire," and all this. He decides whether or not he gives you money.
That sounds awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we played Pop-Up Pirate, where it's a barrel with a pirate, and you stab swords into it, and if it pops up, you have to drink.
I swear we are still playing Mario Kart drinking game.
If I can finally figure out how to connect all of our legitimate versions, we'll do it.
So much fun.
That would be a blast. So, before, I was going to say I broke my toe this weekend. That was my highlight of the weekend. That was before Aaron took the conversation in another way.
Is this because of like your bell ringing stuff? Someone
No.
else mentioned that in the chat. We
No.
were on to you.
I was not at a national handbell festival.
Oh.
I was cleaning the house. The wife told me to get up and clean the house, so I was in the office sorting through all of my bins of
I
gaming
feel like we
stuff.
should be like whoosh, a little bit of that.
We have a baby on the way. The house has to be clean. So what? It's 4 months from now. But I was cleaning out all my gaming bins and like I was condensing boxes and shit, and I threw one behind the door and forgot about it. And the door was partially open, so I went to walk through the door. And when a door is kind of open, you expect to be able to grab it and throw it all the way open, and just like your body expects there to be no door there. And I threw it, and it hit the box and bounced back, but I had already fully committed to walking. And I woke up on the ground.
Wait, you passed out?
No, it's just like that split second of, holy shit, my toe doesn't bend this way, to, okay, I'm conscious again. I didn't pass out. I fell down on the ground, and like I did not sync those memories from the breaking to the ground with my mind.
That's a little bitchy.
Have you ever heard of empathy?
No. Not for a toe.
So no, it was interesting because I'm laying there like, shit, I know my toe is broken. I'm expecting to look down and see it and bent all off in one direction, and I look down and it's fine. It's not even discolored. It's not anything. Like I get up, I'm like, okay, this is okay. I'm fine. I'm walking around, and we have to go to the grocery store. I put a pair of shoes on, totally fine. Start walking around Walmart, and instantly I'm limping. I can't put any weight on my foot, and then I pull my sock off when I get home, and it's like all black and blue and swollen and bent and discolored. And
Did you go on one of those like wheelie things?
no, I buddy taped
Also
it.
known as like electric scooters.
No. I could have. I mean, at Walmart, that would have been a perfectly legitimate reason to ride one. I mean, you just
I would have used that excuse.
broke my
Been
toe.
all over that.
I'd rather
At
get one of
all.
those scooters that you put your knee on and scoot around.
Huh?
You've never seen those?
No.
For people who break their leg or their ankle or their foot and can't put pressure on it, and they don't want to use crutches, they kind of look like a razor scooter, but they've got 4 wheels on them, and it's a pad that's raised up about 1.5 feet off the ground, and you put your knee on it, and then you use your other foot to scoot along, and you kind of steer it. It's like a scooter.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're awesome. My grandma had one when she broke her leg, and she would not let me ride it.
Are you sure it wasn't just for old people and not for...
Check it out.
Like,
I mean, I don't know why old people would need that.
I feel like it would be dangerous for old people.
It might be. I mean, maybe that's why my grandma broke her leg.
Yeah, maybe it was fine until she got this scooter.
Damn it, I knew stairs were a bad idea. So, anything else? Any news from you, Jess? Anything exciting besides the birthday?
And the intense game of Monopoly.
Yeah. I feel like you should have live streamed it.
We
That
had
would've been
some
pretty amazing.
tweets happening. But that would have been a little ridiculous. We were getting a little belligerent. No, nothing
Is
else
there ever
really
a game
new
of
and
Monopoly
exciting in my
that
life.
doesn't get belligerent?
Like when people play Monopoly at church.
I
Do
still,
people play Monopoly at church?
I still feel like if you play against the pastor and you win or something, he gets pissed off, he's going to excommunicate you, and
I don't think that happens. I don't think you just get excommunicated for beating the pastor at Monopoly.
What does excommunicated mean?
kicked out of the church.
Why don't they just say kicked out?
Because you need
They
to
have to
sound
use
more
big words.
biblical. Because it's called a community congregation.
Oh, communion.
Yeah,
You've
excommuned.
been excommunioned?
Yeah. Now it's just bread and wine. It's no longer body and blood. It's just bread and wine for you because you're ex-communed.
Oh, shit. That's intense.
Yeah.
I did go to my neighbor's Bible study group, actually. That was a kind of an interesting turn of events for me last week. Because I'm not very religious, and I told her that, not at all.
Did you show up with
And,
wine and liquor?
And bread.
Wine
No.
and bread.
They kept trying to get me to sign up for Bible study, a 6-week course, and I politely declined.
I'm
And then
pretty
I had
sure
tea.
that was a cult,
Yeah.
not a Bible group.
Was the last
I still
name
got
Manson?
tea. They were very nice. They said they were going to pray for me.
That means
Well,
they
yeah.
think you're going to hell.
Well, it was a pretty good deal. I got tea and free prayer, so I'm pretty impressed.
That's a great deal.
Free prayers. Wow.
So what'd you guys play this week? I know we were supposed to play Heart of Darkness, but let's be serious. Did anybody really play it?
I couldn't find my physical copy of that game, so I was unable to play it.
Aaron, how about you?
I didn't know what game we were supposed to play.
So you didn't listen to the show last week.
Well, I missed parts of it. I was at work when I was listening to it.
You said that I was a jerk last show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that most of the fan base would agree.
No. I feel like you guys are turning this against me. Like it's suddenly cool to hate Eric.
It's cool to hate
It's always
Eric.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's always been.
You were pretty harsh to George Vosper
About
in his,
what?
in his dog story. And, George is a cool guy.
George is a
Yeah,
cool
but
guy.
it's a dog.
You guys were all like, oh, man, you probably killed his dog.
Okay,
and then,
so
he was just,
we
he didn't
all
feed it.
were.
He was playing. Yeah, you all were.
Okay, so not just me.
Especially you.
I feel like that is an important
Eric,
qualifier.
you get thrown under the bus. You throw me under the bus all the time. I just thought I would, drive it in your direction for
But
once.
me throwing you under the bus doesn't bring community hate.
I don't think so. But
I've got
I
a
don't think
rope in the closet just waiting.
Oh, God.
You gonna hang me out to dry, Eric? Is that what that's?
No, that's for me, Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, this is so...
It got real dark here, real.
We're trying to cater to Jess's goth side.
Oh, my God. My students asked for that goth picture today, too.
I'm totally going to give it to them because I'm pretty sure you've conversed with them on Twitter.
No, I totally have.
Twitter. Here we go. Just see recent tweets. I'm just going to send it to everybody who follows you.
Go through the list.
I'm going to have a solid 364 tweets by the end of this show.
Now, I did want to say one thing since I did listen to the show last week. I may have epically failed on the quote that I was thinking about saying all day, 2 weeks ago on the show, and I ended
so
it in that thing. But the laughs and joys that I got from the people that I talked to that listened to the show really enjoyed it. And the way Jess is laughing now and the way she was laughing on last week's show completely made it worth it to botch that quote.
That was the best ending ever.
What people probably don't know is that as soon as I said that, Eric's like, I just hit stop as soon as you finished.
Where we cut
It
is
wasn't
literally
even
where I
blind.
cut.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so glad it wasn't me being so
Do you want to try to
awkward.
redeem yourself with that quote? What was it? We were sitting here trying to figure that out.
Yeah. If you're hungry, direct your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza.
You were
From Eric
close.
Gordy's The Last Dragon. That's the quote. On the side was a pizza place.
You were close.
I know. I got there, and then I I couldn't think on top of my tongue anymore. And I was
But I
like,
think you said
about all day.
I think you said feetsies.
I probably
And
did.
direct
I
him.
don't remember.
The only way you
I
could
was
go
like-
with that is feces, and
Direct your pizza. Green's Pizza.
This needs to stop happening.
that was,
I was trying to figure out a way to put it into a show earlier, and you guys were talking about Ninja Turtles, and I thought, I could maybe get it in then, but just didn't find my.
is that what you thought about that entire show?
Not the entire show, but
Only most of the show.
just
Only
part.
the week before
See-
as well.
Now, had you had that written down in front of you, you wouldn't have fudged it.
Why would I want to write stuff down for the show? It's very much more.
I
fun
haven't
to just
written anything
wing
down
it.
after I got lambasted for trying to organize a show.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
So that's
you're such a
exactly why this
about
show
it.
started off as terribly as it did.
I thought it started
Oh,
out.
I
It had-
just need to know.
It had nothing to do with the fact that you didn't know the settings correctly for the show, and we had to pause it and then go back
Oh well.
live.
No, that didn't actually
I'm
happen.
pretty sure it's because Jess came on and then she left, and that it ruined everything. And
because my sound stopped working on my incredibly awesome, fantastic, better than a PC computer.
Yes.
Weird. We actually called that was why.
Wow. So I suppose we should talk about some games. I tried to play Heart of Darkness again. I don't remember who recommended it, but I wasn't feeling
I'm
it.
doing that next week.
I was not feeling it because I really enjoy those side-scrolling cinematic platformers, I guess is what they fall into, and it just didn't hook me in. It was like I said before, you're just this kid who gets sucked into this fantasy world, and you've got a lightning gun and you shoot shadows, and that was about it. And I made it to about the 10th screen, and basically the game says we're going to make it hard by throwing a ton of shadow people at you from both sides, and eventually they're just going to overwhelm you and knock you off the cliff, and that was about it. So that's as much as I played. I literally made it 5 screens into the game because it's not hard. It's just not fun, I think is the word.
I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna try it. See if I can get past 5 screens. I'm gonna try to beat a record.
I'll be impressed if you get past the title screen.
Sick burn.
Oh,
Jess, I
Let's
recommended
go down real quick, Gabe.
Another World to you, and you bought it. What'd you think?
It was fun. It was definitely, you kind of had to fuck up a lot before you figured out the patterns. And then it was fun.
Well, because the
But
enemies
the
just
initial fucking up.
the enemies just pop out of nowhere, like, "Hey, fuck you."
Well, the beginning, that dog creature thing that you were talking about, I was like, no big deal. And so then I ran off the screen and I just kind of stood there because I was like, I don't think it can follow me. Nope, it did. And then
How many
I
times?
ran all the way to the start.
How many times, honestly, did you get killed by those leeches in the beginning?
None.
What?
Seriously, I own that shit.
BS.
No, I'm not even joking. How
I
many
think it's
times
because
did
I
get
told
killed
you.
by those like. No, I wasn't paying attention to that either.
So you weren't listening when I was talking.
No.
God.
But I got killed a lot by those Chewbacca-esque people. And then I didn't realize you could do like a shield thing with your gun.
Yeah.
That took a long time. The dog killed me probably like 10 times because I kept thinking like, no, he won't catch up with me. No, he caught up with me. And then when I swung on the rope and came back, I was like, no, he won't. He'll fall off the edge of the cliff. No, he doesn't. So that was a little intense.
It's a fun game. It's How does it play on the iPad?
I was on my iPhone, and it was fun. It was the first time. Sometimes it's a little tricky to pick up on things,
Yeah.
like items and stuff, because you don't see them. But it was pretty good because I was playing it while we were watching movies, which was convenient. But it's tap. Like you have to tap the controls, which I find a little annoying, but it works. It was fun.
I've noticed that too with emulators on my phone. I can't really play games with a touchscreen. It's not the same as having a physical controller.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, I
but
feel
it
like
was fun.
I feel like I could sludge through an RPG with it because that doesn't really require a lot of finesse. But I tried playing Mega Man on my phone, and it wasn't happening.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I played some Pokemon Snap.
You seriously played Pokemon Snap?
Yes, I did. I was really wanting to play it after our conversation.
Tell us about
Only,
Pokemon
10
Snap.
minutes of it, though. It was hilarious because there are so many things that you had to time so perfectly in order to get the more intense Pokemon.
Really?
But I really played 10 minutes, so.
What do you have to time? Just getting them perfectly in frame?
Yeah, and some would pop out of the bushes at certain times, and some would only come out for a second, so you had to wait for them and aim for them. So it was a little crazy. But
Sounds
I
like
had
a
fun.
rootin' tootin' good time.
It was intense. I was really concerned about my photography skills, but
Jeez.
yeah, Mew. I love Mew.
Aaron, you said you hibernated yourself in your basement and actually played games.
Yeah, I played. I'm not going to say they were good games. I tried playing them, but I decided to play. You noticed my sports theme earlier, and almost my talking. I tried to play some old school sports games. So I played Ken Griffey Jr.'s. Oh, hell's the name of it? World Series Baseball or something like that. With Super Nintendo. I totally forgot the name of it. I just know it's Ken Griffey's Baseball. And yeah, at the end of the first inning, I was losing 24 to nothing.
How do you get that bad?
I don't know. For one, it's again, I don't have an instruction booklet. There's no options to say this is what button does what, and this is how you throw to different bases, and this is how you pitch. So I literally started playing the game. I played as the Twins, and then I played against the Phillies, and I was at home, so I was pitching first. And I go to pitch. I'm like, oh, sweet, I got a strike. And all I do is hit the B button, and you pitch. And then as the ball's in the air, you can press on the directional pad the direction you want it to go. And if you press down, it's a fast ball. If you press up, it's kind of like a lofty ball, slower ball. And so I'm sitting there pitching, and I'm just swinging. But then they hit the ball, and they hit it like a ground hit, basically. But you don't control the guy right away, and you have to look at this little mini map to figure out where the ball's going, where your guy is. And it took me a while to figure that out. And then by the time you get over there, you're not even close to the ball to begin with. So then you got to get over there. Meanwhile, the guys are running around bases. And for the longest time, the only plate I could throw to was home plate. So,
aren't those controls generally where you press left on the D-pad and then throw the ball and it goes to third base?
But you have to do it. You had to do it the right side. You had to stop moving to then throw to then do it. So you almost had to stand still before you threw, and then you had to hit the button to go to the right base. But no matter what, once I finally figured how to do that, I finally was able to get some outs. But no matter what pitch I threw, I even threw balls that were way curve balls that weren't even close to the guy, and he'd hit it way out to right or left field, or get a home run. It's nothing I could do. Then the bases were loaded. I'm trying to get a guy out, trying to throw it to first base, but no, instead he throws it to home. So, it was ridiculous. Finally, I just get out. Then I get at the bat. I'm like, okay, well, this should be a lot easier. And then I get there. What do I get? No, I get little tiny hits that barely get me to first base, and then, or they get a pop fly and they catch it in the air, and then I got out. Yeah, and then I said, "Fuck this."
The only baseball game I ever played on Super Nintendo was MLBPA Baseball.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've never played baseball on games.
And I think that's the last sports baseball game I ever played.
Right. But, I mean, the game had some in-depth features, I thought, when I was looking around trying to find what I could do. But it's one of the games where you can actually save your lineup and save kind of your progress as you play the game. And so for the future, you can kind of change who you want. I thought that was kind of a neat feature on the game. But yeah, that game is really tough. So if anybody's played that game and says that I suck, feel free.
Did you ever play any of the Madden games on the NES or Super Nintendo?
I did. Unfortunately, I don't have a cartridge of one, but I do have. I think I have 96 on a disc for the PS1. It came with Madden 2005.
I have vague memories of, I think it's Madden on the Super Nintendo, where if you picked your play early enough and got out of your huddle, you could run over and tackle the other people in their huddle for no reason other than just because you could. And there was
a big dick bag.
Yeah, and I don't think they gave you encroaching or anything like that. It's just everybody goes back to picking their play again. But if you hit somebody hard enough and they got injured, the ambulance would actually drive onto the field.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a really cool feature back in those days.
That was great.
They kind of took that away. I thought that was neat to see that. And they also just have halftime shows in some of those games, which I thought was kind of cool.
The old NBA game for NES, my wife was playing that not too long ago, and that has the worst halftime shows ever. If you want to see something hilarious, I mean, that game is terrible as it is, but the halftime shows are something else.
Let's see, what else did I play? I played one of our readers wrote in about Punch Out, so I did play Punch Out as well. What I found out is I really, really hate Soda Popinski, and I can get through everybody, but even when I was a kid, he was like, it was him and Mike Tyson already at the time. Mike Tyson, not Mr. Dream, which was on now, but yeah, those are the two guys I just had the hardest time beating. And so yeah, I got through all the way through there and got Soda Popinski, and then I just got, whatever reason, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a win, so I stopped there. But that's a fun game. Like, that is it's a simple game. It's all about the rhythm and watching the characters, like, secret moves that they're gonna do, and you pick up on that, and you can just, it's pretty easy to walk through the game.
I never got into Punch Out ever. I mean, I've played it, but
and then there was the cool feature where you could, like, during the rounds, if you were beat up, you could hold down, I think it's the select button or the B button. You could hold it down and hit that button, and then Mac's hand would go really, or not Mac's hand, but your coach's hand would go really, like, kind of like speed up, and it's like he's talking to you, and you would regenerate health.
So he was waxing he was Vaselining up your eyebrows?
He was Vaselining up your eyebrows, that's right.
I remember the first
eyebrows?
Yeah, the first Fight Night that came out on 360. I thought that was awesome because between rounds, you'd zoom in on your face and you have all these cuts, and then you got to take your bar of Vaseline and rub it in the wound.
All right, and clean it up.
Best feature ever.
But so that was good. Played that, and then I was about to play Super Tecmo Bowl.
You're on a sports kick this week, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was on, a little sports kick. If we haven't had one, I figured I'm going to try it. So I might try to play more before next week. But I was almost going to put in Super Tecmo Bowl 3, and then I realized that it got really shitty after the first Super Tecmo Bowl. So I didn't quite put that one in yet. I'll save it for next week.
Yeah, I played Super Tecmo Bowl a while ago, and that game is pretty amazing. You get like 8 plays to choose from, and then your guys just kind of run their play.
Did they actually give you first downs in that, or was it just you got to get a touchdown?
I think
That was in the original Tecmo Bowl. You had to get a touchdown. You had 4 tries to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I believe in the Super Tecmo Bowl, they actually gave you the first downs starting in that one. If I'm not, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Because I recall playing a game like that where you got the first downs.
Tecmo Bowl was great.
And
has that game held up over time though? Because I feel like sports games as a whole generally don't hold up very well.
That one does because of the simplicity of the plays and how to play a game.
Because
the graphics, it was just like basically red and blue dots on the field, on this like purple field because the coloring back then was all goofy, and so you would pick the play, and then like literally what you do, you pick that, and you can choose to throw to one guy or the other, unless you're doing a running play, which is only one in Tecmo Bowl. So it actually kind of stands up to be fun to play. It's just, because
those old handheld LED-based football games, those are still awesome. I think my grandma was telling me she found the really, really old one. You know what I'm talking about? That it's got that piece of plastic and
it had like just the black and underneath basically the football field, and the things would change on there. Yeah, those are the old Tiger games.
Yeah, Tiger games. That's what they are.
Yeah,
those games are great. I remember road trips playing those all the time.
Yeah, those were really good until what came out? Was it the poker? I think they made a poker, like a Tiger made a poker one, and that like took over mainstream for all. Everybody had to get that poker one where you could play blackjack or whatever it was.
I would love to find a picture of this, or maybe somebody knows what it is, but it was, now that I think about it, it's kind of a precursor to the Virtua Boy. And my grandma always had it in her office, and it was a red visor, not a visor, but like this red contraption that you put your eyes up to, kind of like one of those toys that kids put those circular discs in and view pictures through them. It was kind of like that, but it's got 4 buttons on the top to move left and right and then shoot one weapon and shoot the other weapon. But it's pressed up against your eyes and like you're this tank or you're this airplane flying through shooting things. It's kind of like a Space Invaders game from behind.
Yeah, and that was set up just like those Tiger games, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like this was, you shove your face into it and you come out after 3 hours all cross-eyed and...
Yeah, I semi-recall that, but if I remember right, like it was still graphically like those Tiger games that you would have.
Yeah, it was just it was a black screen, and all it was bright blue. It looked like a digital clock, like those blue lines from a digital clock in there as the game.
Right.
That game was great. I got to call up my grandma and see if she still has that.
Of course.
I need to damage my vision.
Don't even need to say anything.
No, this is a different grandma. Different one.
Lies.
It is. Is that all you played? Just sports games?
Yeah, I played that, and then what else did I play? Well, the problem is, the reason why I'm kind of is that I've been in a Madden kick lately. So like I get home and I play Madden. And
which one are you currently playing?
Madden 25.
See, that throws me off. Why? I know they named it 25 because it's 25th anniversary, but why jump from Madden 12 to 25? Like, why couldn't they go Madden 13 25th anniversary?
Because technically it's also the 25th Madden they've had. So, Madden 25. Yeah, I don't know.
So next year, they're going to have Madden 14, and then some unknowing mom is going to be like, well, why would I get Madden 14 when I can get Madden 25?
Actually, it'll be Madden 15.
What about Madden 10?
Yeah.
Madden 10 sucked.
Oh, man. Kev, how about you? What did you play this past week?
We played a game that you guys played on one of the shows.
Who's we? You have friends other than us?
Well, no, Eric and I played.
Kevin and I did a lot of live streaming this weekend.
We did a couple streams on the weekend, as it were.
Yeah.
And one of the games we played was Goof Troop.
Eric loves that.
That game. Let's talk about that.
About how furious that game made us.
Going into that, had you ever played it before?
No, I had not.
But you read about it and researched it. kind of.
No. Why would I?
You said that you like all the lists of multiplayer games you looked at. I always held Goof Troop up there.
Oh yeah, they said that the Goof Troop game was like a decent 2-player game for the time.
So we decided to stream it, and my opinions still haven't changed. We had fun playing it, I think.
Yeah, it was a good time. We did really good, except for right at the end.
We did not cheat. We were using an emulator, but we never cheated. We never save stated.
That's right. We just died on the last boss for funsies.
Just cause. Why not?
We were tearing up those puzzles, though, until we got towards the end. I feel like the level design in that game was kind of half-assed, or the puzzle design was really half-assed because it was... The puzzles were all the same. It was kick blocks into sockets, and that's it. Big dead silence.
So
Okay. Well, all I heard was you got to put it in the sockets.
Wow.
Hey, some of those puzzles were pretty tricky.
They
I
were.
found the puzzles were fun.
We got to... Was it the last puzzle where we finally had to defer to the chat?
No, the last puzzle we like super cheated. And
Oh, we got a walkthrough, didn't we?
so, yeah, we did.
Which game was this again? I feel like the last one I heard was Goof Troop. So.
It
Best
is.
game
Yeah, it's still
ever.
Oh my gosh, still talking about
We decided to actually play through the game in its entirety to give it a fair shake. And I will
Yeah,
admit,
it was-
I did
was
enjoy it. But I don't think it's a great game.
Oh no, it's a total pile of trash.
You would buy it. You would buy it. The high definition remake.
If they did like an HD remake, that might be kind of dumb.
I
would
remember
be
you just said that
fucking
if they
dumb.
made an HD remake, you would quit gaming forever.
I still
That
would.
did happen.
That actually does sound familiar.
It does sound
We
familiar,
had
doesn't it?
recording of that
You
happen.
said you were done.
Shit. Don't make an HD remake. No, it wasn't. It was kind of fun to fuck around with each other because you got to, as characters, actually interact. And I was playing as Chuckles. I think that's the only way I know him. What's the little guy's name? I don't know who Little Goofy is. Is that his name, Little Goofy?
Time out. Do we not remember the big shit bit that you guys had when I didn't understand who What's-His-Face was?
What's his
The
face?
big bad of the game? I don't know, the big fat one who's, grr, I'm
That's
grumpy,
Bruno.
I'm horrible. I didn't know who he was, and you guys were throwing this huge shit about how could you not know who that is, and...
Isn't like son's name like Jake or something like
No,
that?
but that's because he is the antagonist of the entire series. You have to know who the antagonist... That's like not knowing who Voldemort is in Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I actually care about Harry Potter.
Okay.
Super much care about
I
Goof.
feel like
stop.
people who hate
Please,
Harry
Max.
Potter still know who Voldemort is.
Yeah,
Shut your whore mouth.
I think it's Max. The son's name that you're thinking of. Goose son, Max, not Jake. It's Max.
Is it? We just called
Yeah, I
him
think it's
Chuckles.
Max. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Max.
People are saying it's Max.
Okay, Chuckles and Goofy. But you could throw things at each other and knock each other unconscious, but I was more concerned about trapping Kev in random areas with a bunch of enemies and then watching him try to get his ass out of there.
Yeah, very, very kind of you, Eric.
Or we would play
You-
barrel catch, because
You're such a team player.
apparently Chuckles takes 2 hits when Goofy only takes 1.
Yeah, that's sweet for Goofy.
So I got to do very little actual killing.
Did you kill his horse too?
No, there weren't enough horses in this game.
But you are the shittiest person to play games with.
I am not.
Like when you actually try to, like, let's try to beat this actually seriously, you're the shittiest person in the entire world.
What?
You put people in danger? You're like, fuck you.
Excuse me for having fun.
I'm going after the cheerleaders.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not surprised. You left someone to die in GTA, apparently.
I did?
Dick.
Who?
George.
George who?
Bosper.
I did?
That's what he says right now.
He is lying.
Shit.
Because immediately after I played, he sent out a tweet to Matt Eads saying, just played GTA with Eric and he didn't troll anyone. I could dig that tweet out again.
I don't know if anybody would ever believe that.
I'm going to believe him more than you, Mr. Horse Killing, Cheerleading, Stealing. I don't know how to end that.
Fun gamer.
Fun gamer.
Yeah.
Maybe that tweets with the in and around your mouth tweet.
This is getting off track real quick. So consensus on Goof Troop, yay or nay? Still a hell no. Like
I thought it was fine.
It was fine, but like, it's not as awesome as everybody says it was.
Yeah.
Another big dead silence. Love
We're
it.
all reminiscing and just letting
I'm still
him-
surprised that after all of this time, you guys are still playing Goof Troop.
To be honest, if I saw it in the store for $6, I'd buy it just to have it.
Really?
I would. Just to have it and be like, this game sucks so hard I had to own it. But that's just me.
You have a child to think about. You
I
can't
do.
spend $6 on willy-nilly games.
Sure I can. Because he'll eventually get to play them. Maybe.
You're going to be your son's grandma. Wait, is it a boy or a girl? Have you decided about that?
You're gonna.
I don't
be
think
your
it's a
son.
thing I get to decide.
Son's
I
grandma.
said decide.
That's really weird.
I meant find out.
Yeah, you can decide. You can just be like, "This is how it's gonna be."
Throw some more testosterone in there. It'll work out.
That's not right. Kev, what else did we play?
We played some Mega Man X.
We were really bad at Mega Man X.
I feel that yes, that is completely true, but it wasn't our fault.
How is it not our fault?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make myself feel better.
Kev would dish off the controller to me to get through all the super difficult parts because watching him try to get to the first... Well, first of all, I told him the first enemy you got to beat is Chill Penguin, and he chooses Storm Eagle, fully convinced that a picture of an eagle is a penguin.
It's the same basic thing.
It is not the same animal.
Well, it's close. They both have beaks.
Look up a picture of Chill Penguin and then a picture of Storm Eagle. They don't even look the same.
Yeah, but I mean, just from the face, like head up. Like,
The
look at
background
faces,
in
Eric.
one
Don't look at
picture-
the body.
The background in one picture was a desert. The other one was the tundra. I don't know how you messed that up.
Shut up.
But like an equal eagle face versus penguin face.
Okay.
Like beaks aren't similar,
They're not.
even a little bit.
They both have beaks. I didn't think they would have two birds in the same game. I saw a beak and I went with it.
A canary has a beak. Is a canary an eagle?
Well, they're both birds, aren't they?
Here, a squid has a beak. Is that a penguin?
Squids have beaks?
Yes.
I feel like you're making that up.
I am not making that up.
Squid, like
Parts.
an ocean squid.
Yes. Go to
Desert
Google.
squid.
Type in squid beak.
I
It's
did.
between all
They
their-
don't have beaks.
It's in their crotch.
We're so getting into like some hentai tentacle shit right now, but I swear to God, they don't have beaks.
Haven't you ever seen the movie Teeth?
Yeah, that was about a vagina, not a squid.
Yeah. Guys, don't watch that movie. You will never want to have sex ever again.
I like that movie. It was pretty good, actually.
Seriously, cephalopod beak. Look it up. So anyway,
Where did you learn this?
I went
I'm
to
impressed
school.
with your knowledge if this is true.
Actually, I thought it was common sense.
Yeah, I thought it was
everybody-
common sense
Yeah.
too.
Actually? This is actually true.
It is actually true.
For once, I
How
said
the
something
fuck
that's
does that
not
happen?
complete fallacy. You guys are.
I
mean.
take it back.
You guys are so mean to me.
No, we're
I'm
not.
sorry I judged you.
Love you, Eric.
I'm a fully educated human.
I'm not even going to touch that. I'm still looking at... It's kind of disgusting, actually.
So
Okay,
anyway,
let's change the subject.
Kev goes into Storm Eagle, and I know full well that this is just death trap waiting to happen because we need to go to Chill Penguin because halfway through Chill Penguin you get your first automatic power up. You know, it's just
Well, and you didn't tell me that either. You're just like, do tell Penguin.
I was going to leave some sort of surprise for you. I just thought I'd tell you where to go first.
I don't enjoy surprises, Eric.
Okay. So Kev goes into Storm Eagle and then takes forever. Like, this guy's pulling off some of the craziest, I don't know if it's luck or skill, Mega Man jumps that any other person would have died instantly. I mean, there's rotating platforms that he's suction cupping off the wall down to the other ones and like jumping across and getting hit and just falling back down onto platforms and just laughing in the face of death left and right. And then he finally gets up to where it's nice and calm and then dies. And then says,
I don't
okay,
remember that at all.
I do. And then he says, here you go, your turn. So I go through the exact same section, just plow right through, don't get hit at all, make it all the way to the boss, die, and Kev goes, all right, my turn.
I made it to Storm Eagle before you made it to Storm Eagle. You
Oh, I'm
made it
sorry.
to the checkpoint, and
Yeah.
then I made it to the boss.
Yeah. That's what it was. And
Yeah,
then,
big difference there, pal.
wasn't it like 2 screens from the checkpoint to the boss?
I don't think so. Maybe 3.
I don't know.
4.
I'm not a huge fan of the Mega Man X series. I like the originals a lot better. I feel like with X it just got too story driven and there's just too much going on. I like the whole wall suctioning, but I don't know. Not my thing.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It's more actiony than all the other ones were.
I went back and played the original Mega Man and completely forgot that the original Mega Man, you had to get a certain score and beat the boss in order to pass the level.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah. I logged in, I started playing Bomb Man, and it's like 9,000 points to pass the level. Like, what the fuck? Why do I need points to pass a level?
You get like 7,000 for beating the boss, though?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I'm just that good that I knew I was going to pass.
And did you?
I did.
Is the question.
I did. I don't know. Oh, we played a ton of Rock and Roll Racing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That game is bad.
That game is not bad.
I'm sorry, what?
I feel like Jess and
What?
Aaron are focusing far more on the chat.
All right, the game's not bad.
I'm listening because
Okay?
that's what I do.
Go ahead, Kevin. You and I will talk games.
I'm
I said-
sorry, I was distracted.
It's not bad
good now.
today, but it's one of those games where it's not a lot of fun to play with somebody who spent hundreds and hundreds of hours of his childhood playing that game.
Yet again, I told you, upgrade your car. And you're like, no way, man. I'm going to stick with this little beach buggy all the way through the second planet. And you wonder why you're coming in 4th place by 2 laps. So here I
Who's driving
am.
safe?
Here I
You
am,
didn't want his
suddenly
life.
throwing all of these races, trying to just blow up the other racers so Kev can squeak his way into 1st or 2nd place. And then we needed to get 3rd place in the last race. Kev needed to get 3rd place. And
we miscounted.
Oh, we
because
did
we thought there
miscount.
was an extra race. We thought there was one more race.
That's right.
So it's not entirely my fault.
You're the
Just
one
a little.
driving. You're right, though. I spent way too much time playing that game as a kid.
See?
Way
That's
too
the only
much.
reason I lost.
Yeah.
Only reason.
Did you guys play anything else?
No.
I feel like it was kind of a light week. I didn't have a whole lot of time for extraneous games. I'm gearing myself up for next week's chapter 4.
Oh, I'm all over that.
Like lip hair on grandma?
Don't talk about your grandma like that.
Talking about your grandma.
Shut up. My grandma's a really cool lady.
Does she have lip hair?
No.
It's not her fault if she does, though.
I thought that was just
She
a rite of passage
totally
for
doesn't.
women. You eventually get a mustache.
A lady mustache. I'm growing mine out for November.
Oh, God.
I've been working on it.
Yeah, mine.
You're
Thinking about doing. I look like a hobo right now with my beard right now, shaved in probably a month.
I got a buddy who
I started before November.
I got a buddy who in May decided he wasn't going to shave or trim anything for a year.
Anything?
Well, I don't know about his nether regions.
That needs to be manscaped.
Okay.
Seems to me like anything would also mean nether regions.
The conversation was talking about beards and mustaches, and anything incorporates beard, neck beard, mustache, and sideburns. Nothing on his face for a year.
Yeah, they can get really bad. I think I'm gonna trim mine eventually though. Get the long, right under the chin, kind of like that longy point. Who's a good person to eat? And
Whatever happened to that intense mustache guy?
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
You probably scared him off with all the stalking
so
of him.
creepy about his mustache. I dream about it every night before I go to bed.
That's scary.
That is real scary.
I'm lying about
I think
that.
I have
a
a
little
picture
bit.
on Facebook of me just with a mustache. It's very scary.
I have a picture somewhere on there of we had a Halloween party and I shaved my mustache into a less than reputable mustache.
Oh my god, we went down to visit my sister, and she's younger, so it was like our entire family, including my grandma, who does not have a mustache. And it was around Halloween, and we wake up and start making everyone in the house breakfast, and there's like 10 kids. And one comes down with a Hitler stash because he was the Hitler maid for Halloween from like Little Nicky. It was so bad. My grandma was like,
That's about as bad as going as blackface.
it was really bad.
That's terrible.
And then he
Kind
kept
of
sitting
funny.
with his legs open.
How do you
in a
know?
little
How do you know
skirt.
it's Adolf Hitler and not Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah.
The difference with
Because
that
he
costume
went
is a hat. That's all it is. Just a hat.
He went as Hitler maid,
Mm.
not Charlie Chaplin maid.
He's dressed up as a maid
Yeah, from Little Nicky.
and then sitting with his legs open.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of Hitler,
That
did
is
you guys
a
hear about
terrible
this?
segue.
Speaking of my buddy Hitler,
Did you guys hear about all that art that was found inside the walls of this apartment
Yeah.
building in Germany? That's
Oh, yeah.
that's like pretty awesome to come across something like that. And I mean that's a piece of history right there. I mean, not only the artwork, but just the fact that it was hidden away there. I mean, that building could have been blown up a long time ago, torn down.
I'm so
All that
glad this
stuff been
segment
gone.
made it into the show.
Hey,
Wow.
I say.
You've probably been storing that segue for a long time. Like, I wonder when I can fit that speaking of Hitler in. And then segue
No,
into the
actually,
art.
it did, you guys are talking about it. That's what made me think about it because I was like, I just heard about that.
Footsies again.
Wow.
With their footsies and getting pizzas.
Pizzas.
Pizzas, that's so bad.
That's terrible. So did you guys play anything else, or are we ready to move on to emails?
I didn't think of an email jam.
Yeah, you didn't get me an email jam, so I'm not putting an email jam in. All right, let's read some emails. Our first, if you want to write in, factorysealed@manatank.com. We'll read your emails. Comes from Michael Kelso. He says, hey, Factory Sealed peeps, have you ever played Ghoul Patrol? It is a sort of sequel to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I was thinking about giving it a go, but I'm afraid it may ruin my Zombies Ate My Neighbors memories. Retro love, Michael Kelso.
What is retro love?
That's like old love.
Is it like better than new love?
I would think just a little bit better.
Because it's been there longer.
Yeah. Doing its thing.
But what about if it's like retro love, like how people loved each other in the 60s, where they would pretend to love each other but secretly hate each other? And
but they just love each other for free sex?
Yeah, and then they would beat their wives. I don't want that kind of love.
We've wandered into a lot of dark territory. I have not played Ghoul Patrol. I don't think I've even heard of it. Is this a NES game? No, Super Nintendo. No, I haven't played it. Have you guys?
No.
No, I have not.
I would give it a go because I really enjoyed Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
That would have been a good game for our Halloween, not Halloween podcast.
I know we blew our load on that one way too early.
Oh God, why? The visual picture.
The what?
The mental images of blowing loads. It's just not...
Just filled with, video games?
It's not appropriate.
God. Next one comes in from our friend Nick Stevens over at the 90s Entertainment Show podcast. He says, hey guys, first of all, big thanks to Eric and Aaron for helping with our last podcast. Much appreciated. Did you guys listen to his 10th episode? Aaron, did you?
I did. Yeah, I started listening to it.
So apparently what they did is actually kind of cool. They asked a lot of people who inspired them to start their own show to kind of record a little introduction that they played before they started their 10th show. So it was pretty cool. They had a lot of different people on there, and they asked. He was trying to get all four of us to make something, but he only got in touch with Aaron and I. So that was pretty
I'll remember that, Nick Stevens. I'll remember that.
Actually, I think I was talking to him. I think I gave him the idea for it, and then he contacted some other people.
Yeah, I think he did mention that you gave him the idea.
Because it was his 10th episode, and I really wanted to get on there and say 10.
I like that.
That's a great idea. Then he gave me a script and everything.
He gave you a script?
Yeah, he said, he just said, here, if you say something like this.
And you yell at me for kind of writing down notes?
Hey.
Yeah, but you wrote notes without telling anyone that you're writing notes.
Yeah, that's not our show.
You just came on and been
These were notes
hey
for
guys,
me
I want to hear your opinions, but here's my notes.
These were my things to talk about.
Yeah, and you made us look like dicks because we didn't have anything to talk about.
Maybe I don't like big dead silence.
That's the name of our show, essentially, is Big Awkward Silences.
We try to get as much awkward silence as we can during the show. It's like it's set a record or something.
I think we're close.
But I refrained myself from giving him the full-on intro where I gave about 3 90s quotes from the year 1999 during my intro. So
did every one of them have the word "tan" in it?
No, not every one of them. But I was gonna do the "What's up?" the Budweiser commercials and the "I see dead people" and the "Is that your final answer?" I had those 3.
Was that 99?
99. That was like the big.
That's when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
was kicked off.
And Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel so old. I'm still celebrating my birthday month, so it's not a big deal. But
yeah, Canadian birthdays apparently take weeks.
Yeah, they do.
There's nothing else to do. All right, Nick goes on. He says, I can't quite remember if you have ever shared your favorite arcade games or memories, but I thought it would be cool if you all discussed that. You don't hear many retro podcasts talk about the arcades. He says, one of my favorite memories was actually me being a punk kid. I was at a Hills department store, and these two guys were playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time. They were right at the last level and ran out of quarters. On their way back to the snack bar to get more quarters, I snuck up to the machine and hit the buttons as fast as I could to erase all their progress.
Oh, Nick, mad props, Nick, mad props.
This allowed me to play the game with the few quarters I had right away instead of waiting. I probably should have been smacked for that. Anyways, keep up the good work. Never stop your chit-chat at the beginning of the show. I personally like it. Thanks again, Nick Stevens. That's arcade trolling at its best.
I would have, even better would have been to put in the quarters and steal their game.
Oh, yeah. And then get to the final boss and die, and then tap out on it.
Yeah.
You guys were right there.
Oh, that is mean.
That's terrible. I didn't do anything that bad. I spent a lot of time in arcades as a kid. But I don't have a lot of, like, really super awesome memories. I mean, I thought it was outrageous when arcade games started charging $1. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, for some games, like Cruisin' USA was always $1, and then
but it was
some of the
so
shooters.
tempting. Like Daytona USA, when you had 8 arcade machines lined up, you're like, oh my god, I just want to play. I just want to play. And it's like, and it's $1. Well, fuck that. That's my whole allowance.
I remember when I used to be like younger and I would play fighting games at the arcades. I remember every time you would lose the first round, you would ask for seconds, right? Come on, give me seconds. Let me win the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, everybody who ever let somebody do that, you only do it because you know they're trash and you're going to beat them in the third round anyway. But you don't actually give somebody seconds if you think that they can beat you.
So would you just go into the arcade and just challenge random people?
Well, the fighting game, you put your quarter up, and then once it's your turn, you play, and then whoever's playing plays.
Is that like putting nickels down on the pool table to call the table?
Yeah.
Huh.
You challenge the winner.
Did you have like a special chip? Like a
No,
pog?
you put the quarters. You put the quarter on, and then you grab the quarter, and you put the quarter in the machine.
But how would you know which quarter's yours if there's a bunch of people waiting to call the machine?
Well, it's just kind of like an honor system. It's like, well, I put that up there, and you see if there's 5 quarters in front of yours when you put yours on. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to be the 6th guy.
I feel like it would have been more effective to have a pog or some sort of poker chip or something to put up there. And you're like, that's mine. And
But
then
you're in line, so you would know.
Like
when
people
your
would
turn
come in
is.
and they would see the snarly tooth Cyclops pog chip and like, fuck this, Kevin Byers here. I'm not playing. Like you could create a persona with your chip instead of just a quarter.
I feel that, like, in the States, where everybody is a total asshole that makes like, you would have to do that.
So you're telling me in Canada, when you went in, everyone's like, oh, hi, Kevin, welcome. Let's play some video games together. I've got a bunch of quarters. Do you too?
That's exactly how it was. And then it was, hey, man, can I have seconds? And they're like, sure, we'll give you seconds.
That's not how arcades worked.
That is exactly how arcades worked.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
You guys had better arcades than we did.
Just because Canadians are nicer.
Yeah. And we don't.
I don't know. Some of my favorite memories. One of the games that I enjoyed playing the most. I never really got to play it too much again because it was $1 a play, and I just couldn't justify that. When they put out that skateboarding game where you climb on and it's like, do I need a 5-point harness for this thing? Am I going to die? Because you hop on and the whole thing moves around. You can do ollies and tricks and stuff with it. And like, this is so cool because I really skateboard. I'm going to show all these people up. And then I fucking sucked at it.
I love those ones. So much fun.
I liked the Time Crisis games.
Yes.
Those ones were really good in the arcade.
The Jurassic Park, when that finally came out with light guns. Oh.
We're sitting in the car thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about I don't remember the name of it. Maybe it wasn't Top Gun, but it was a fighter plane one where it would like almost go completely inverted and then both directions.
Afterburner.
Afterburner, yeah.
That game was
fantastic.
Afterburner was awesome.
And then you had skee ball.
I suck so bad at that. I love DDR though.
God loves skee ball.
They got wise to us at our arcade where they had skee ball because it's all about finesse. You got to try to get the 100, and we just eventually got to the point like we're just going to whip that damn thing down there as hard as we can, and it would start launching up over the top and into the wall behind. So they like built this big net coming out over the track all the way to where the people are, so you couldn't fuck around anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I feel like fucking around in that game was the best part of that game. If you were tall enough to just throw them right into the 100, you should get to.
If you could,
but that
lean
was
forward.
Always like the romantic. You're gonna meet your future life partner at that game.
Whipping skee balls down a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there were so many movies in like the 80s where it's like kids go to the arcade and they're at the skee ball tables and machines and
the guy wins the girl.
The lady across the table.
Yeah. And they win prizes for you, and it's like then they can teach you how to throw the skee ball, and it's all romantic and lovey. That totally is a thing.
Maybe just in Canada.
Then there's always the really old, obviously homeless woman who was in there playing skee ball, and she had like 20,000 tickets just piled up by her. I wanted to be that woman's friend.
So it's okay for you to get romance on in skee ball, but not
if she's got 20,000 tickets, yeah.
So Eric will whore himself out for no less than 20,000 tickets.
Minimum. Somebody in the chat is asking about a game that I know I can picture it. It's a 2-player where a couple helmets drop down and like you're this tank gunner. And it's almost like a virtual reality type thing where you put your face into it and you can like move around in 360 degrees. And what the fuck's the name of that?
I know ish.
Sure.
I gotta look that up.
Good luck describing that to Google.
Arcade game with helmet. I got a beer helmet. I got some guy pointing a gun at me. And I got Space Invaders. That's not right at all. I think it was Battalion something. What the fuck was the name of that? I don't remember.
Battalion?
I don't know. Somebody help me out. What was the name of that game?
I don't even know what you're talking about, so.
I'm just going to start putting in random adjectives to describe this and hope one of them hits.
I'm going to wish you luck for that.
Nothing.
I don't think you're going to find it.
I got to give up.
I know some of my favorite arcade games came later when the Super Nintendo came out, and there was a time it was after because the Neo Geo had come out, and then when Super Nintendo came out, that was when they started making games that you could play either at the arcade or at home on the consoles. And at the time, it was I think it made sense for the arcades because nobody. Things are different now, but I think back then nobody could really afford to have a system in everybody's house. So like when Eric was really cool, none of his friends had the systems because they couldn't afford them. So then all those friends come over because I remember that not everybody had one. Nobody could afford a $300 video game system back in the day. But it was really cool to have the choice of playing it at home or going to the arcade and then throwing the money in. And if you went out shopping with your parents, they would just leave you at the arcade and they would do all their shopping while you're sitting in the arcade and just give you tons of quarters. But like there was the one game that we played that we finally found that that playing game that we both sucked at, Eric, that I forgot the name of already. But that was one that I played. I don't know how much money I put in the arcade before I finally got it on the Super Nintendo and was able to play. And but yeah, so like those were really good. And the ones before that, it was mainly like the pinball games. And like the shooter games, like we mentioned that like the Afterburner and that Terminator game that had come out, and then the I think Time Crisis or one similar that had come out around that time too. That I played a lot back then.
Matt Torsha found the name of it. It's called Beachhead 2000.
Wow, that's really close to Battalion.
It starts with a B, and battalions storm the beachhead.
A for effort.
Don't judge me.
I'm judging the shit out of you.
Wow.
That's what
Yeah,
I do best.
I miss arcades. I feel like arcades overseas, though, like in Japan, are a lot cooler. Because they got a lot better games. Apparently
I don't know if they're better. They're probably just stranger.
Yeah, there was one where the whole point of it was you're an ambulance driver and you have to run people over.
I don't think you're supposed to run people over.
Maybe that was a PS2 game. I remember that. I don't know. I want to go to Japan.
I think the point of the game was to get people from their emergency to the hospital. And if
Maybe
you
I
run
just
people,
played it. Maybe I wanted to play it incorrectly.
Shocking.
Fuck. Why play video games the way they're meant to be played? Our next email comes in from Ed Boy. That's his name. I think it's Eduardo. My name is Eduardo. There we go. Had I read the first sentence, it would have given me his name.
Oh, God.
My name is Eduardo, and I finally decided to email. I'm 15 years old, but grew up playing the Super Nintendo. As a kid, I played the Lion King game for the SNES and Street Fighter II Turbo. I played more games, but those are the most memorable. I really feel I missed out on all of the RPGs. I feel like you should play the Lion King game. Keep up the great work. I think we talked about playing the Lion King game at one point. But that was like
I definitely have played the Lion King game.
Which version?
I just remember it being awesome.
Super Nintendo?
Yeah, the Super Nintendo one. Well, the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis one. I probably played.
Somebody recommended Lion King to us a long time ago, but I think that was at the height of our Disney game craze, and we decided
I think that was Matt Torsha.
We decided to back burner it, so I'd be willing to pull that out. Does this one have kind of the same conundrum as Aladdin, where there's two versions on the Genesis and NES or Super Nintendo?
Yes, I believe that was also in the email.
Okay, let's do it.
Maybe we should reread emails.
That was an email from a long time ago. I'm not going to remember that.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that was an email that you just read.
No, he said I played it for the Super Nintendo. He didn't say...
Keep reading.
It was right after Goof Troop.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm reading the one from Ed Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just said that in the chat.
I'm pretty sure in that email from Ed Boy, he talks about and see if you can do a comparison between the two.
He does not. I'm reading the email right now. I can read that word.
Somebody said it. Oh, Jeff Woods just sent an email, man. Look at that.
All right. Jeff Woods writes in.
You left early.
Oh, he put his question in the subject line. What is your favorite Mega Boss?
Oh, that was a different email that you didn't read. That was about Shadowrun.
We had another email from Shadowrun?
Yeah, it was from George Vosper.
Oh.
He talks about Shadowrun, and there was two different versions. So I got those two emails mixed up. I apologize.
Thank you. I humbly accept.
I will throw the bus under my...
I will steer the bus away from you. I will do a lane change and humbly accept your apology.
All right.
And give you free fare back onto the bus.
All right. Thank you.
Jeff Woods, what's your fave Mega Boss? I would have to say Gemini Man. I loved his freeze power to stop time. Also, on another note, I love the weekly show you guys got going on. Gives me something to look forward to. One awesome thing I want to share with you guys. I recently purchased a Surface 2, which in the Windows Marketplace, they have an NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Advance emulators. Plus, I do believe they have Sega. So what I am getting to, I can download games and play them on my Surface with an Xbox 360 controller support. It's pretty effing sweet. So now I can play all these games right alongside.
You're not going to say that?
You're
censoring yourself now?
That is pretty
effing
pretty
sweet, fucking sweet. Yeah, that's what he actually put in there.
I like it.
Capitals.
He hasn't texted me in a long time. He must not like me anymore.
That's so weird.
He was the one that was texting you?
He was the one who was stalking me, yeah.
So hilarious.
You guys, I was so laughing when you guys were on the podcast talking about it. It was totally me.
That's like felony stalking.
I don't think that's felony stalking. Maybe misdemeanor stalking.
I don't know. He was inciting sexual stuff.
Well, his name is Jeff Hardwoods.
Yeah.
He even confirmed that his middle name is Hard in the email.
He said it is not hard.
I'm choosing to ignore the not part.
He's a total Seattle Vikings fan too, by the way. He loves the Seattle Vikings.
He says, one more thing, I feel you guys should try Super Battletoads and Battle Maniacs Retro on Jeff Woods. So we have Retro on and Retro Love.
Tried Battletoads, didn't we?
No.
No, we did
We
not
talked
pick
about
these
it.
games.
Very beginning?
He wants everybody to know that his middle name is not hard, by the way.
It totally is hard.
How do you know that?
He's lying. I have stalked him, and I know his middle name is hard.
Jeff, are you getting texts from a random Toronto number? God. Our last email comes from George Vosper, who writes in, I am not a horrible person. I take care of my dog well enough. To clarify a bit on the suspicious ghost dog, it walks around outside my room, not clawing about. Also, it does not happen every night, and since I usually have my headset on, I don't hear it much anymore. Anyway, since you probably don't even bother with my last game suggestion, how about I suggest a new one? I'd like it if you tried out Shadowrun on Super Nintendo. Maybe do a comparison between that and the Genesis version like you did with Aladdin. Thanks. Can't wait to hear the new episode. George.
Did we do Shadowrun?
No.
No.
We didn't. I'd be down for that in a later show. I like doing the comparisons between console versions.
I like having fights.
About which one's better?
Yeah,
or about
it was
whether or not
fun.
someone's middle name is hard.
It is hard. And now I'm realizing how bad that sounds when I'm saying that it's hard.
I'm trying to get a decent sound clip of you saying it's totally hard.
Not happening ever again.
All right. So we'll do the Lion King. Maybe we'll do the Lion King comparison and the Shadowrun comparison in the same episode, and we'll get like mega fights going.
It's going to be so intense. It's going to be so hard to deal with that podcast.
It is.
See what I did there?
I saw it. It was genius.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, we have no more emails, so if you want to send us emails, factorysale@mantank.com. Also, if you want to go to iTunes and rate us, we'd like that. Makes me feel good.
Yeah, the emails have been pretty light the last couple of weeks, I felt.
Like our first 3 weeks back, we just got inundated with emails.
A ton, and I don't know. Ever since you called out that... fuck. I'm done.
Words.
You called somebody out at something. And
You
then we
are a
haven't heard
little
back from
grumpy
since.
pants with grammar. You're not very forgiving.
Who?
And I think that's why.
Who is?
You are!
Me?
Totally grumpy pants.
Grumpy Pants Grammar. He's a teacher, yes.
Wait, how did this get turned on to me being...
I have no idea, Eric. I missed something
That's why
completely.
people aren't emailing us anymore. They're afraid of you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
What?
Could be.
When have I ever made fun of somebody's emails for bad grammar?
Have you listened to the show?
That was the worst. All the time you make fun of people for their grammar.
I used to teach English. I have a right to.
That doesn't mean that you have to be a dick about
I've
it.
never been a dick about it.
Bullshit. Dick is your middle name.
Oh,
you and Jeff need to get together.
Eric Dick Peterson.
Jeff Hardwoods. Figure it out.
Oh my god. You guys are mean.
False.
Whoa, that was like 3 seconds of awkward silence before you said something. I was trying to keep it going.
To see how long we can ride this out. All right. I feel like...
I have a thing I'd like to pop out there. I found a game today that I...
You like
I've-
pop out there.
Is it hard?
The game, it can be. I currently am not hard at the moment. But
I'm so happy because that would be so unbelievably awkward.
it's hanging well right now. Little right?
Jesus.
All right. So I was thinking about playing Eye of the Beholder for the Game Boy Advance.
I thought we already played that.
No, we never did play. We talked about it on a game, but I was gonna suggest if anybody wanted to write in, I'm willing to start with a new crew. So if you ever play the game or do some research, I will play, because you can pick different characters, and some characters are. It's kind of like playing Final Fantasy 1, where you can choose like all the white mages or all the. It's not quite the same, but I will play a party of the most votes. If you want to tweet it or send an email in, I'll put the party together and I'll play it, and then I'll discuss my playthrough on the show.
Do it.
So I'll give it a week to get emails and tweets and all that stuff.
What game did you say?
Eye of the Beholder. It's
Isn't
a
that
Dungeons and
the-
Dragons game for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, isn't that the one on the cover? There's like that big floating eyeball with all the
It's
tentacles.
the Beholder on the cover, yeah.
Yeah, hence the name.
How many people do you get in your party?
You can have 4, I believe. Maybe.
All right, I'm calling it already. 4 clerics.
Oh shit! Not gonna make
Enjoy.
it far.
Enjoy.
I'm gonna tweet in 4 clerics too, and then Jess is going to, and
True story.
So what? Well, maybe I'll do 2 games. Then I'll do one with all clerics for just you 3, and we'll see what everybody puts in. Of course, now everybody will be like, "Do all clerics," and then I'll do all clerics.
that's funny. So, before I forget, we have a special guest next week.
What?
Yeah, I just lined this up yesterday.
Maybe we should have communication happening.
Maybe we
I
should
feel
have
like you're
start
not
times.
communicating.
No, so at Comic-Con last year, this past year, Comic-Con, I met an artist, the name of Rob Duenas, and he's the guy that did all the Ninja Turtle art. And I think, I just have the Ninja Turtle art from him. But he's a full-time illustrator, graphic designer. He's done covers for different gaming magazines. He's done a lot of different comic book art and stuff like that. So he asked, I asked him if he wanted to come on the show and talk to us a little bit about doing art for gaming magazines and just kind of comic book art in general. So he's a pretty big gamer
So
too.
exciting.
So
Pretty
he'll,
cool.
yeah, he's starting up his own gaming magazine right now where he's doing all the art for it. It's called Game Cave. But if you want to check out some of his stuff, go to sketchcraft.com. He's got his whole mix of stuff on DeviantArt, and he's got some pretty impressive stuff. He does a lot of video game art, and it's actually really, really reasonably priced. Like you can get full 11x17 prints for $9 or $10. So his stuff's actually really cool. So I highly recommend checking it out.
Hey, Eric, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that you have a special guest, whatever happened to the other guest that we used to have with the Skyrim figure in this bedroom who had a baby? Is he alive?
Oh, Christian?
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, what?
he was on our show
Yeah, what
once.
happened to him? Him and I were
Yeah.
friends.
I don't know.
We were best buds. We made fun of each other.
I know. I don't know.
What a dick.
Oh man, I can't.
Jeez.
I can't pass this opportunity up for Kevin.
Is he on a Mac too?
No, Kevin just sent me a message who said, all capitals, "I'm having an Eric problem. I might be back in time to finish the show."
There are so many problems that you could be having.
It's pooping. It's pooping. Lots and lots of poop.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if we can drag
Should
that
we
out.
off the case?
I don't know.
All right.
Oh.
That's,
I feel like
Also, I was going to
Also,
talk to you guys
so-
too. I might have a special guest lined up for maybe not next week now, but the following week.
is it Rose?
It's not Rose.
Damn.
That's who I was thinking of, by the way, who would stop sending emails when you said that she was my whatever. And anyway, but he's going to come on and talk about. We're going to do an all Capcom episode.
Yes.
Okay. So he's been listening to the show. And he's like, you guys need a Capcom expert, and that's me. So you should let me on the show, and we'll talk Capcom the entire time. And
What's his name?
Be good. His name is Jesse Vandywalker.
Oh, I
You
know
might
Jesse.
Yeah.
He was the ASM at Rochester when I was ASM in lacrosse.
Yeah. And he also wrote those 3 great books that I told you to go read. So you should do that if you haven't. But he'll be on. He's a huge Capcom guy.
Oh yeah, that awkwardly awesome plug. I forgot.
Oh, speaking of which, plugs. I keep doing this again. But if you like stories about Japanese history, check out Daughter of the Sword and Year of the Demon by Steve Bine.
Can you at least start getting us money for this or something?
Yeah. Is he going to plug us in his books really awkwardly, like halfway through an elf stabbing a golem? He's like, and Factory Seal podcast.
Well, look, I will tell you that on the back of Hard Heartland by Jesse Vandy Walker, if you go buy his book at lulu.com, Factory Sealed is on the back cover.
Woo!
So, there you go.
All right, I feel like we should probably wrap it up here.
I was trying to get Kev back. I was trying to get enough time to get Kev back.
Kevin.
Do you guys want to hear about my kittens? Because I can talk about them all day. She is just the fartiest kitten ever, and it smells like something died in her asshole.
Good.
It's horrible. Does anyone watch Friends with the whole Smelly Cat song? You guys don't watch Friends?
That show's been over for like 10 years, I feel.
Why?
Yeah. Just the stinkiest parts in the entire world.
Oh. Eric, it might be a good time to end the show now.
How often is your nose in her asshole?
No, they're so putrid. The vet was even like, this needs to stop because she farted in the exam room once. It's so bad. It's so bad.
You did something as cute as a kitten. She's the cutest, fartiest kitten ever. It sounds like something died in her asshole.
It's the derpy one, too. It's the one that's half retarded.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that cat has holy shits.
I didn't try to make an awkward movie reference. I'm still fine.
That was definitely awkward enough. All right, well, we should probably wrap it up. Hopefully Kev makes it back in time to plug his Twitter. Aaron, where can we find you on Twitter?
At Quilted Tunic.
Jess, where can we find you?
Justin Clarkson.
At Something Died in My Asshole.
At Kitten Farts.
Totally changing your name now in my Kitten Farts.
Kitten Farts. That's funny.
They're the worst.
You can follow me at Honest Pizza, and I'm going to plug Kev. You can follow him at Dinner Dangles. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for the show. We're
Don't follow the counterfeit Dingles lunch. Don't want to follow.
Yeah.
Or lunch dangles. I don't remember.
Yeah, lunch dangles.
I think I'm having a stroke. I think that guy's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to play some Chapter 4, Mother 3 next week, and then whatever else we decide to play. Till then.
Well, we're going to have a guest, so that's a little...
Yeah, we're going to have 2 weeks of guests. 2 weeks in a row.
A little practical.
Heck yeah. We'll figure it out. All right. We will see you all next week.
Bye.
Good day.
I said good day.